This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brianna Mans.
Hello, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a mental health private practice? One might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to our good neighbor, Miss Camellia Douglas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well today. We're super excited to hear all about your business. So tell us a little bit more about your company.
Yes, and thanks for having me. My name's Camellia Douglas. I am the practice owner for Mentable. And Mentable is a Charlotte-based mental health private practice. We have providers with over 20 years of experience, and we provide mental wellness and mental health care to adults ages or individuals ages 18 and up. We provide services such as assessment, diagnosis, treatment. Our treatment can include medication management. We also provide supportive psychotherapy, lifestyle coaching. We provide lab testing, and we also provide other additional testing such as ADHD testing and psychogenetic testing, which is very helpful or can be helpful for providing clinical guidance for consideration of medications. We treat all conditions, so that includes some of the more common conditions such as anxiety, depression, ADHD, mood disorders, insomnia. We also treat women who are experiencing perinatal depression and anxiety. So during and after pregnancy, in addition to symptom changes around perimenopause and menopause. We are insurance-based primarily, and we are in network with most or all of the major carriers, a few of the Medicaid plans as well, mostly commercial, some Medicaid, and we also offer self-pay options. But our goal here is to provide individualized care. So we're really big on integrative, individualized care that is patient-centered.
Awesome, amazing. And how did you get into this business?
Yeah, so generally, I started out in the mental health industry roughly about 15 years ago. What actually drove me to that aspect of things was just the opportunity that I saw working with patients day in and day out, with being able to provide an opportunity to improve quality of life. I think mental wellness and mental health is actually one of the most ignored areas of wellness. And so just being able to kind of dive into that with patient education and just being able to offer a safe space for individuals seeking that type of care. And Mentable was born kind of as an extension to that, with a goal. Really, our goal is being able to close the gap. And when I say close the gap, I've worked in quite a few different areas of mental health. That includes outpatient. I've done some telehealth. I've done the emergency department for mental health. And I've also done inpatient. So I kind of know all the different areas and ways that care can be delivered. But one of the things that I experienced was just a very consistent gap between evidence-based treatment and how care is provided. So our goal here at Mentable is really to focus on the how. We can provide all of the care, go by the evidence and really do a great job there. But when we are looking at patients that are motivated about their care, we understand that comes through building a good rapport, active listening, and being able to provide that safe space and individualized care.
Awesome. So what are some myths and misconceptions in your industry?
Yeah, so this is maybe not one that's thought of as often, but one of the things that I see in this in the mental health industry is the idea that you don't really need or have to reach out for support until there's a severe pathology or diagnosis, or there is a crisis. A huge piece of mental wellness and mental health, which is why we focus on the wellness, can be very preventative. And I think the goal of that is to, generally reduce stigma. But we, really see that, a lot of times people think that just because I'm not in crisis, it doesn't mean I can't seek support, or maybe not, maybe you don't need support. And that can be far from true. Additionally, because mental health has had a stigma, it's carried for a while, and kind of being a taboo topic for some. We're growing in that area, thankfully, but it can also seem that it is very unstructured and doesn't have much intentionality. But with a lot of the measures that we have now, the way that we provide care, it can be very outcomes based and very intentional. So I think those are just two of the things that I've personally and just from a clinician perspective have experienced. But really these things can be debunked by just appropriate care and quality care.
Mm-hmm. And we know that marketing is the heart of every business. So who would you say are your target clients and how do you attract them?
Yes. So our target clients are adults. We primarily treat adults here. But our target clients are those that are motivated to improve quality of life, mental wellness. Like I said, it doesn't always have to be a severe pathology or diagnosis. We are more focused on those that are motivated. We also know that there's a pretty big disparity between actual number of providers and those that may desire or need support. So we're filling that gap and improving access to care. So really anyone who's seeking support or finding a need to have more immediate support would be the ideal client. But, as an extension of that, being motivated. We actually get most of our referrals through word of mouth. That includes other practices in the Charlotte area primarily. So therapists, we get some from primary care offices, OBGYN offices, because we do have a focus on perimenopause and menopause as well. And so word of mouth is our number one source. Because we're also networked with most of the major carriers for insurance plans, we get a fair amount of referrals there as well. And then we are on additional platforms such as ZocDoc. You can find us there, and you can also find us on psychologytoday.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that because I have, and I likely will in the near future. And the reason, I've really thought about it more recently is because I do think there is a very big opportunity for education and psychoeducation in the world of mental health. I just have a thought and a way of, thinking that the more you know, the more you grow. And so, a platform like a podcast, I think, is a great foundation for providing education. We have more and more people speaking out about their own mental health challenges. But I think that can be also a way to help others to feel encouraged, but also to feel like they have the courage to reach out for support if they're experiencing certain things that maybe they didn't think was as much of a concern, or maybe they didn't think about it as a perspective of their quality of life being affected. So I think a podcast would be a great avenue for just psychoeducation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And outside of work, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, well, I am huge on anything that promotes self-growth and self-care. It's kind of can be a cliche, term, but really anything that creates balance. So for me specifically, that's been social connectedness, staying connected, staying engaged socially. I also spend a lot of family time, so that kind of fills my cup more. And honestly, and to be very transparent, I'm also very into sports. I play sports myself, but I also am very intrigued by any type of sport, any type of competitive play. I tend to be pretty competitive myself in that area.
Mhm.
However, what I've been more intrigued by recently actually has been more of the athlete mind, and just kind of exploring like ways that people achieve greatness. I've been really into that lately. from an athletic standpoint. So those are the things that fill me up. I've noticed, though, that the more I'm doing those things, the better I am as a clinician, because I'm creating a balance. I'm creating my own safe space to some degree so that I can continue to pour into other people.
Yes, that balance is amazing. Wow. Well, Ms. Douglas, please tell our listeners one thing they should remember about about Mentable.
Yes. So the one thing I want to say about Mentable is that we are a safe space. I want to lead with that because we are patient-centered. We're collaborative. We also are outcomes focused. And we're not interested in just the mere absence of disease or diagnosis. I tell patients this often, that you're more than a diagnosis. So we're interested in holistic and integrative treatment that all patients and individuals deserve to really improve quality of life.
Awesome. And how can our listeners learn more about Mentable?
Yeah, so there's a few ways to learn more. So our website is the number one source. It is mentablewellness.com. That's MENTABLE wellness.com. There you can find information about services that we offer. And you can also find information for the insurances that we're in network with. And then our providers are listed there as well. You can also book directly from that website. You can give us a call. Our office number for Charlotte is 980-223-4566. Additionally, we are on additional platforms, as I mentioned, ZocDoc, and we are also listed on psychologytoday.com. And then you can email us from any of those sources. And our email is info@mentablewellness.com.
Awesome. Well, Ms. Douglas, I really appreciate you being on the show. We really wish your business the best moving forward.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpnorthcharlotte.com. That's gnpnorthcharlotte.com or call 980-842-6352.